Pre-Colonial period.
Good day everyone, I'm Yodimel Aderayan from Group 1. Our topic is all about pre-colonial period. I know that you are so much familiar with this topic, so I don't need to explain further. So let's start. In pre-colonial period, education in the Philippines has undergone several stages of development from the pre-Spanish times to the present. In meeting the needs of the society, education serves as the focus of emphasis or priorities of the leadership at certain periods or epochs in our national struggle as a race. However, children were provided more vocational and less academics by their parents in the houses of the tribal children.
The father trained his son to be warriors, hunters, fishermen, miners, lumbermen, and sheep herders. The mother, on her part, trained her daughter in cooking, gardening, serving, and other household arts. The pre-Spanish system of education underwent major changes during pre-colonial.
But before we begin to tackle education we had before the colonization of the Philippines, let us know first the history of the people during this period. It says that before the colonization of Spain, living in the Philippines had a distinct and rich civilization. This can be seen from the treasures that were unearthed from that period.
Reasons why living in the pre-colonial are better. First, women enjoyed equal status with men. Secondly, society was more tolerant. Third, higher standard of government. Fourth, we were self-sufficient. Fifth, smoother foreign relation. And lastly, high literacy rate. Pre-colonial Filipinos were educated using the Asian system of writing called the baybayin. During the pre-colonial period, teaching and learning were focused on skills, behavior, and communication. To transmit knowledge, it was acquired through observation, imitation, and practice.
It is said that in ancient Panay, there was a barangay school called Botoan under the charge of the teacher were usually an old man. The subjects taught to the children in this barangay school were reading, writing, arithmetic, use of weapons, and lubus, acquiring kinaadman or amulets.
In pre-colonial era, the quality of education perhaps is not yet modernized or technologized, but it doesn't mean that Filipinos are not well educated. Because like what we've said, in pre-colonial era, most children were provided with vocational training, supervised by their parents, tribal tributors, or those who were assigned for specific specialized roles, such as the babaylan. Babaylan refers to pre-colonial Philippine tradition of female mystical healers, whose spiritual connectedness was a source of political and social power. In most communities, stories, poetries, dances, songs, or medical practices are passed generation to generation through oral tradition.
So what are the oral traditions and folk literature we have in the Philippines when we are still in the pre-colonial era? By the way, to talk about oral traditions, folk literature, and folklore, it is the traditional knowledge and beliefs of a culture that has no written language because it was transmitted through word of mouth. Folk narrative, they are myths, legends, and folktales. As we all know, myths are stories that are based on traditions and a narrative account of a great village, the universal theme of world mythology, and also predominant in the Philippine myths. Legends are believed to be more about recent events. Unlike myths, they may also deal with stories which explains the origin of things, places and their names, animals, plants, and others. They are also used to teach lessons in life. Folktales, they are prose narratives that primarily told for amusement and entertainment. In short, folk narratives were created to explain the phenomena of the world before the signs came to be known. Folk speeches, they are proverbs, riddles, and short poems. Proverbs. It is a short poem used and serve as laws or good behavior by our ancestors. Riddles. It uses one or more images as metaphor to refer to an object that needs to be guessed. Short poem. Generally quatrains consisting of 5 to 12 syllables per line, which are used to be chanted. Folk songs. A form of folk lyric which expresses the hopes and aspirations, people's lifestyles, as well as their love.
Most ethno-linguistic groups in the Philippines have folk tales, epics, poems, and chants that were passed down from generation to generation through word of mouth. Definitely, word of mouth, also known as viva voce, is the oral transmission of information from one person to another. It can be as simple as telling someone the time. Storytelling is a popular type of oral communication in which one person tells another story about a real imagined occurrence. The epic story of the Ilocano people from the Philippines Ilocos region is known as Biyag ni Lam-ang. It was the first Philippine folk epic to be written down, and it was one of only 2 folk epics documented during the Spanish colonial period of the Philippines, alongside the Pre-Colonial epic of Hang Jong. It also known for being a folk epic written by a Christianized lowland people group, which is Ilocanos with Christian influence woven into the plot.
Pre-colonial literary pieces transpired in traditional narratives, speeches, and songs include Tigmo in Cebuano, Bugtong in Tagalog, Patututdon in Bicol, and Paktakon in Ilonggo. Baybayin to spell was the pre-colonial writing system in the Philippines. Some modern scripts in the Philippines descended from Baybayin. Those are Hanunuo, Buhid, Tagbanwa, the Kapampangan script, and the Bisaya script.
In terms of writing, some communities utilize a writing system known as baybayin. Baybayin is a Philippine script. It is an alpha-syllable belonging to the family of the Brahmic scripts. It was widely used in Luzon and other parts of the Philippines prior to and during the 16th and 17th centuries before being supplanted by the Latin alphabet during the period of Spanish colonization, whose use was wide and varied, though there are other syllabaries used throughout the archipelago.
Now that we do all know the history of education during this era, the question here is, what was really the focus of education during pre-Spanish period? To be honest, there's no formal education at all. The teachers are the parents, and they teach only for survival. So that's all. Thank you very much.